try and aim at you, search for you from a wide variety of angles. Kind of scary. Kind of like a training exercise in case the Boston Dynamics robot dogs really do take over. But it's nothing a little 30-6 can't handle. This is all stuff you've probably heard before if you've watched any Arc Raiders content. You know that the robots respond in realistic ways to their thrusters being shot off, for instance. But Arc also features enemies the size of buildings in the thousands of tons. And that's not irrelevant when it comes to engineering, whether it's a program. It takes a considerable amount of computing power to pull this off on just one client-side machine, let alone a server and multiple pieces hooked up in a multi-layer, seamless video game. I know for a fact that Embark managed to get around a lot of this for the multiplayer games and finals by running destruction, physics, things like that on their personal servers rather than for the client side. I don't know how much they do for Arc Raiders, and when I tried to Google search it, Google Gemini seemed very confident that yes, they do run everything server side. Google Gemini didn't cite its source. So I'm going to assume that Arc uses server-side stuff for their physics, but I can't confirm. Regardless, it's very impressive. The engineering load is undoubtedly intense, and I'm sure being a network engineer at Arc gets you pretty decent money. That's money that they are most certainly not spending on voice acting. I keep harping on it, but it's true. The finals, and to a certain extent, Arc Raiders, makes usage of procedurally generated text-to-speech voice acting. Procedurally generated, not fully generative AI like ChatGPT. It's a different thing. Am I happy about it? No, but it's not fully generative AI, and that's good. As good as it can get. Anyway. Well, for Charlie, yes. Most people call them hackers. I call them liberators. They built the rules. I rewrote them. Every system has a backdoor, even this one. This is the more corner-cutting aspect of Embark's technical expertise that I'm not super crazy about. A lot of people are upset about it, and I understand the argument. If you're not familiar with it, Embark basically uses voice prints provided by real people to get the computer to speak with the onboarded audio data of a person's voice. It's not the same thing as fully generative AI in the cloud, Gemini, and ChatGPT. It pulls as much data from the World Wide Web as possible using a plagiarism machine based off of a prompt that you can play. For instance, this isn't actually sounds weird, I know. The effect of the market to the party
I offer today's dialogue.
My cruise.
Originium will car.
That's still very much a felt thing. There are arguments made for and against this practice. Embark themselves argue that it's a time-saving measure, while most people, I think, rightfully state that it's just a way to pocket more change at the expense of others. And probably the more pressing point is that it kind of sounds like crap. In fact, one way that Marathon kind of managed to make itself distinct from Arc Raiders was the fact that it has a pretty stacked voice cast. So take that for what you will. It's going to speak to Arc Raiders pretty soon in 2 months. We'll see how that goes.
Hey, Dark Mask! Where are you off to? Don't leave with us!
He who suffers today is not among us.
Roger. Engaging the enemy.
Maximum power! Activate!
In position.
Finish! Waiting for the fire!
Sanitize corruption. We are united beyond the need for words.
Riding the
We fought with both Kurt.
Vamos quoi?
I think it's really cool. The component of Unreal Engine 5 they use, Houdini, takes the place of software that would normally be used for this kind of thing. No need to do
He who suffers today is not among us.
Roger. Engaging the enemy.
Sanitize the corruption. Arts have opened my maximum power. Activate. Riding the turret is my turn! That's nothing!
In position.
Will be spotted! Frost, leave me. This is my turn!
In position.
Place your bet! You brace for impact! This is my turn! Opening spotted! This will be gold!
Import them back and merge them. And I'll put another haiku that is the entire data. I personally think this is one of the coolest implementations of publicly available resources to make compelling, visually striking art. I think Embark has shown a lot of creative ways to use technology in the gaming space. So to that end, let's look at the destruction mechanics in the finals and how they work. I started this video discussing the resume of the guys at Embark. You may remember that these guys worked on the very first Battlefield games you played as a teenager, Bad Company 2 all the way to Battlefield 1. These are very experienced devs with mission-driven game development